What's up? It's your girl Savage Flower.
Live for you, fans these new machine. You're now tuned in to the Rock the Block show.
Only on How Do You Meet Radio Soul Flow.
Definitely.
Block show. Y'all already know how to go. Fat C, let's get some background instrumental while we talking on this.
Oh yeah.
Good Tuesday.
Cracking. Let's get it cracking.
Most definitely.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
It's your boy Olympic, man, holding it down. Y'all already know how it go, man. I got my boy AD and Fat C in the
Dizzle.
building. Off camera, I got my boy Juice in his holding
Young
it down
Hefe,
behind the
home.
scenes. Y'all already know how this shit go, man. We always making special moments on this Rock the Block show, man. And we got some very interesting topics today. But before we get into those topics, I want to get in. I want to give a very special shout out to my boy Pecan the General. Pecan the General, man. Make sure y'all tapping in with Pecan the General. His his project out right now on all platforms. As a matter of fact, hold on. Let me. I apologize, Pecan, man. I'm a little off beat today, man. We missing our very lovely host Savage Flower today, so you know.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to Savage.
Shout out to Savage. It's live. I don't know the project name, but it's definitely live right now. Pecan, P-K-E-N-N, the General, D-A General. You already know. Shout out to him, man. What a very close friend of the show. You know, submitting that fire new music all the time. Artists, make sure y'all tapping in on that level. Before we move forward, I want to shout out a couple of our sponsors. Want to give a big shout out to, as a matter of fact, Caesar, pause the background music on this one. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure they hit this, cut the beat. I want to make sure they hit this one loud and clear. We want to give a big shout out to our some of our sponsors. Big Mike with Live Life Clothing. Man, make sure you tapping in with Big Mike on IG at Live Life Clothing. My boy, the EDC guy, for all your firearms training, if firearms licensing, and you're in the South Florida area, make sure you tapping in with the EDC guy on IG and on his website, theedcguy.com. You know what I'm saying? Just tap in. Clark's World Trucking, man, you need that load hauled from coast to coast, across country, however many tons it is, man, make sure you get in contact with Clark's World Trucking. They gonna get it there on time and efficiently. Y'all already know. Shout out to my girl Maggie over at Dreams Unplugged. Yo, listen, for all of your business resources, business solutions, if you want to know how to start your business, start your nonprofit, make sure that you tapping in with my girl Maggie at Dreams_Unplugged on IG. And last but not least, we're going to give a major shout out to Sweet Elevations, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're going to tap in with them on IG as well and fulfill that craving of your sweet tooth. Y'all already know. Let's get that background music back, man. I'm feeling kind of...
Fat Caesar cut on the beat.
Fat Caesar in the building today. Man, yo, today was a very big day in, American history and our times, man. Today was the elections.
Yes, sir.
We had, I don't know if this was the primaries. Don't get me wrong, but we had a...
Yeah, for the most, this is the primary. This is like.
I got some shit right here.
Yeah. Oh, that boy brought the newspaper. Hey.
This is the election
He
guide,
brought the
right? You know when you go to
newspaper.
vote, they give you this election guide with all the things. and go
you a
through.
VIP voter.
Bro, so listen, I'm going to give you a backstory of what happened today, right? Before
What
we get
happened,
into this.
Let us know where you found that newspaper, though.
It's not a newspaper. I told you it was a voter's guide. It's not a newspaper. I'm going to tell you how I got it.
Okay.
It's a voter's guide. So
A
for all
voter's
you
guide,
niggas
got
that
you.
vote, for all the niggas
Yes,
that
sir.
voted, and if you know, if you go to the polls, you know what I'm saying? When you walk in, they hand you this thing that looks like a newspaper, but it's like a voter's guide, and it just helps you
Pick your candidate.
pretty much pick the candidate.
Just so you know who you want to vote for.
I definitely did.
Who you voted for? We gonna call it right now.
Hold on. Let me get to it.
My bad, people. My bad. I was
What you was drinking on earlier, man?
man.
That smelled like Remy when you pulled it. All right, this was drinking Remy juice.
Why you
I
exposing
smell
me to
cognac?
Right, you said that, right? Shout out to the,
Shout out to the investigators.
Bamboo and all the
The
boys.
liquor
Shout out to
investigators.
these, man. Send that
Now
shit
where's
over.
my bamboo?
And the stove.
So look. Let's,
Yeah. Who you voted for, O?
I got you. Hold on.
Tell the
relax.
truth.
Man, you're a little too excited right
Okay.
now.
See, I want to know.
I
who
got you.
voted for. I want to know.
I'm gonna give you the story. I'm gonna give you the story. Relax. You hold on. I'm gonna give you the story.
Jumping the gun.
Yeah, you jumping the gun right now. Just relax. Just relax. All right. So boom. I walk into the polls today, and I immediately noticed the young lady behind the desk that was, signing people in to vote at the polls. She was a long-time friend of the family. You know, I haven't seen this person in over 25 years.
Wow.
Her name's Siobhan. Shout out to Siobhan, Miss Edamonia. She was working the polls today, our lovely neighborhood community poll worker. So I immediately recognized her, and I called it out. So everybody in the poll workers was like, "Wow, oh, he know you." So she called me by my childhood name, and as she was signing me in, I was looking down at the voters guide, and I noticed, I'm like, yo, I don't know shit about what's going on in the election. I don't even know who's running for what, and I'm looking down at all these names and all of these different roles, positions, all of these different, and I'm like, damn, I don't know nothing. I don't want to go in here blindly just, bubbling in anything just to fulfill a vote. So I immediately withdrew. I said, hold on, wait a minute. Give me she was like, what? I'm like, I got to study this right quick. She's like, oh, so you can come back. We close at 7. I'm like, yeah, let me take the voters guide home, go home YouTube and Google some things, and we'll come back. So that's what I did. I went home and I Googled some things, and there's a lot of positions on here, a lot of different legislative roles that have to be filled, but there's a couple main core ones that we can get into that pertain to either state government or local government. Some candidates, all right. And so first off, I noticed on this voters guide as I look down, running for United States Senate senator for United States senator was once again Marco Rubio, and the top two candidates in that category were Marco Rubio and Val Demings, right?
Have you checked the results recently?
So I haven't checked.
Not the results, but what's going on.
So I did. I actually got to see. So I tapped in. I went on YouTube, of course, and I typed in Marco Rubio, and the first thing that came up was a very heated debate that he was just engaged in, maybe about 2 to 3 weeks ago with Val Demings. Actually at, if I'm not mistaken, Palm Beach, University of Palm Beach. It's something over West Palm Beach, if I'm not mistaken, or Palm Beach. Well, they were out there hosting their debate at this university. Off rip, man, like I say, me just being out of the whole political loop, not really being in the know of what's going on. Shame on me. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Biden's presidency has totally bored me, totally just directed me away from politics.
The truth,
bro. I don't even. First of all, I don't even feel Biden's presence. It's like we don't even have a fucking government right now. If you ask me, you know what I mean. Putin got Biden shitting in his pants, piss on. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like. He's very quiet. So like I say, it's like government's non-existent. So I think that's why I've been kind of just removed from politics.
I do want to ask you a question though. What made you want to walk in today and actually put in a vote? That's, you know what I'm saying? Because that's you did the right thing. So what made you want to do that if you was out the loop?
Because it's just my civic duties, man. And I feel like that if you have some ancestors that fought very long and hard for us to have the rights to go out there and actively vote. So it's like, why not exercise those rights? You know what I'm saying? Definitely. So it was just like in the poll.
That's the realest thing you said all year.
The polls is right around the corner from the crib. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, why not do it? You know what I mean? Just pull up. And they were fairly empty throughout the day. What I did notice is that there wasn't a lot of young black men in the polls today actually voting. You know what I mean? And that was a cause of concern to me. It was a lot of pretty young women. I was like the only dude in there. And at every polling booth was next to me was a beautiful young lady just fresh off of work. You know what I'm saying? I was there kind of late, maybe around 5 o'clock or something like that. So they were fresh off of work, looking, smelling good. And, I just noticed that, like, damn, there's not a lot of young black men, whether we got the rights to vote, whether, it's a lot of felonies being passed around, a lot of unwarranted felonies.
It's also lack of faith.
It's a mixture of all.
It's a lack of faith. You got to think about it. Why? Hold up. Before you say anything, why is it that the same issues plaguing the community 30, 40 years ago, still plaguing us. Maybe some things got better, mostly in part due to more access to technology and things like that. That's helped us come up. But in general, like, ain't nothing done. So it's like, why should we? I'll be honest, I didn't vote because like, I really lost faith in this entire system right now.
Facts. And a lot of people feel the same way. Like, the temperament of the people in the streets surrounding voting at this point is just like, man, that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't gonna help. We don't see change. My vote don't count. But I'm here to tell you that I do believe that your vote counts. I believe that formulated, calculated, strategic voting amongst, select groups of people out here can change the course of history.
I love the way you worded
So
that.
look, back to because my whole thing is I wanted to break down some of the candidates, not really get into the, but just from my perspective. So Marco Rubio, I'm watching the debate, and they're back and forth, man. Val Demings, black woman running for state senator. I love it. I love when anytime any one of us is running for office, it's always, and it's especially running against, what we would consider probably, politics is the lesser of two evils at the end of the day. But I was watching the debate, man, and Val Demings really just she gave me like robot. I just felt like correct me if I'm wrong, no disrespect to you, Val, but I'm just saying, it just gave me like puppet vibes.
Scripted.
Scripted. It just like all of these candidates, all the videos that I was watching, most of these candidates gave me real scripted political vibes, like the whole thing. We know is other dark, evil forces. Like, you just a face in a body, man. At the end of the day, what these entities want to happen is going to be what happened. You feel me? So, a lot of these. So, like I said, man, with Marco Rubio, even though he's a better rendition of the puppet act, you know what I'm saying? To me, it just seemed like his strategies, his thoughts, the way he formulated, like, I don't know. I was kind of rocking with Mark on that particular stance, and that's why I ended up eventually voting for.
What about for governor?
Oh, damn.
State governor, let's get into it. Why not?
The big one.
Okay.
Why not?
You say you was voting for Kanye last time I checked.
Well, governor, that would be president. Kanye is running for president, but we're talking about the state governor's position right now, which our current governor, of course, we all know, Mr. DeSantis. This was a tough one. So before I went into the polls, I ended up calling my boy Munch on the phone. Shout out to Munch, man. You've seen him on the show before. I ended up calling Munch on the phone, and I'm asking him how he felt. Most of our thoughts, ideologies, perception on a lot of these candidates aligned, and that was a good thing. But when they got to the governor, it was we differed in our opinions, right? So initially, I was like, Charlie Crist, I don't know. We had him in before, big pharma tycoon. Florida, we just some of you may know, but Florida won over, if I'm not mistaken, a $900 million lawsuit against correct me if I'm wrong, the numbers, it's somewhere around that range, but close to $900 million against pharmaceutical companies, Walgreens being one of them, charging them with, the cultivation or the uprising in the opioid epidemic here in Florida. So we won that, and that state funding somewhere, and they say that it's supposed to be, used back, funneled into programs that support, rehab for opioid addictions in communities that were affected by these opioids. So that whole thing with Chris, I'm like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I never really understood his true, motive. I think I did. I don't want to get too detailed into that, but I was going with DeSantis. But after speaking with my boy Munch on the phone, he raised an interesting point, and it was that Chris is backed by the money. Chris come with the bag. Chris is the bag man, right? We just gonna keep it clear. And a lot of that funding, could be used for the black the black community, you know what I'm saying, the black community could, or the impoverished communities, let's just say that, because this is no, you know what I mean, you got poor people or poor people, you know what I'm saying, different races, but, you know, that we want to speak on, you know, when you think of impoverished or left behind or, you know, systematic, you know, bullshit placed against you, you think of our people, you know what I'm saying, since the beginning of this country's inception, you know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, after he made that mention, like, yo, Chris come with the bag and a lot of his policies could benefit our people, I ended up switching my vote last minute, and, you know, I went the Chris way, you know?
So
Interesting.
So is it safe to say, and maybe you're not familiar with this quote, but if I could quote the great OG Bun B, so basically you're saying you a conservative liberal, because you know what, that's kind of like where I think I'm at now, and I feel like we don't really have a party that represents us, because we like things from both sides.
Exactly, that's why I'm a big fan of this new No Label Party initiative that's going around. The No Label Party is the formation of a new minor political party consisting of Democrats, Republicans, and Independents working together on policies instead of fighting against each other's policies. And,
I love it. I had to give it a round of applause. We need more of that. No more labels in politics.
No more labels in politics. Because when you watch those debates of these two goofies going back and forth, whoever they may be, slandering each other, coming up with false narratives about each other, and some true narratives about each other. It's just like kids up there, and you like, what the fuck am I watching at a point? Or what are these adults up here doing? What are we doing, like, with politics? Before we move on to this topic, because we got to take a quick break, you know, reset or whatnot, I wanted to touch on a couple candidates that I saw on the ballot that I just want to highlight and give some credence to now that we're on the topic. Ms. Frederica Wilson running for representative in Congress of District 24. Of course, she's running against some person named Jesus G. Navarro, a Republican. Man, do I agree with every thing, and you know, with everything concerning black leadership in the state and locally? No, I don't. But I did vote for Ms. Frederica Wilson over Navarro. There's a lot of. So, anyways, Representative Congress of District 26, you had Christine Alexandra Olivo, and Mario Diaz, a Republican, running against Mario Diaz Ballard, running against each other. I went with Christine, you know, black woman, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know her nationality. She looks, you know, ethnic woman. I go off of energy. When I saw her interview compared to Ballard's interview, she just, you know, let's give her a chance. She's from the crib, young, you know, and you know, we just want to give her a shot. You know, definitely went with her. There were a couple Haitian candidates on the ballot. One of the more major ones, if I want to go to, was filling the position of Commissioner of Agriculture. Commissioner of Agriculture for the state, you know. So it was the Republican Wilton Simpson running against Naomi Esther Blamure. If I'm not, how do you help me out? Help me out with that, man.
Sounds good. Blamure. That sounds good to me.
All right, so listen.
Blamure.
Man, listen, we're going to listen. Yeah, let's take a quick break, Fat Caesar, and we'll come back.
Yeah, we gonna go on this next joint over here. We're gonna go to Tyler Watts, one of my favorite. Ooh-wee. Y'all better be picking up the phone now. By now, y'all better be picking up the phone.
Rock the block.
Gucci.
She got me thinking we finished. We used to turn on the mall. We ball out to Beverly Center. She used to tell me, Tyler, don't mess with them girls on my Twitter. Man, I wasn't loving them girls.